Hello there everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much for coming today. And we've just had the community stream for Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia for June's various updates, and June has got a lot of things coming up that we have to look forward to. May was a little bit of a rough month for me when it came to luck on this game. Snow took me 400 tickets and I still didn't get him. Didn't manage to get Jack. There was a lot of things that avoided me this month, and I was instead lumped with stuff like Yang, which isn't the greatest thing, but June has got a lot of really cool characters coming up and some nice little features and stuff that we haven't had in the game before. So if all that stuff is stuff that you're interested in, then stay tuned and keep on watching. As always guys, be sure to check out all of the social media links in the description box below, including Twitter, Twitch, Discord and Patreon. Now, Twitch-wise, I'm going to be doing obviously every event that comes out over the course of the week. And obviously tomorrow as well, if you're watching this on Monday night, Tuesday 26th of May is actually my 32nd birthday, so I will be doing a stream for that, and you'll be able to see my stream schedule just on the right hand side here for this week. So I would love it if you guys came down and came and chilled with me while I re-clear the last bits of Dimensions End and just come and celebrate my birthday with me in the morning. I want to extend a special thanks to Kim and to Joshua for giving us the community stream as they have done. Given the situation with the world right now, it's nice to know what's still coming for Dissidia Opera Omnia. And then with Patreon, of course, I always shout out one of my patrons at random to give thanks to those of you who want to support the channel further. And today that person is going to be Cobalt Zork. So thank you ever so much for your support. It means the world to me for each and every one of you guys that comes along to Patreon. Don't forget to check out all of the associated websites for Dissidia Opera Omnia. So that's Dissidia Info, Dissidia DB, Tombury Troop, and of course all the other content creators for Opera Omnia as well as me. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about is actually a brand new thing that we're going to be receiving on Wednesday, on May the 27th, which is the introduction of character boards. Now these are similar to summon boards in that they basically are used to strengthen various characters. I believe the first batch of these will be the characters that were out when the game first came out, so Warrior of Light, Cloud, Saz, Hope, Ishtola, all that kind of stuff. So they'll be the first characters to get these, but they function very similarly to summon boards in that they're used to just make each character stronger. However, you can only get the points of these during certain events, and you can only get a certain amount of them. So you can't just grind them until every board is finished. These are something you'll be able to work on over time. So 23 characters will get released with these on May 27th, so on Wednesday, and then more just get added over the course of time. And then you also get a voice line for each character at the end of each of these three branching paths. Each of them is for each of their skills. So skill 1, skill 2 in their EX. So basically they'll get strength and passives and extra CP for doing those. But unfortunately the voice lines that you'd get for each character to be using co-op, you can't actually get straight away because they've been unfortunately delayed. How long it will be until we see these for sure, I don't know. But we just rest assured that we know that we are going to get these eventually. But if you've got a lot of characters that are in that initial batch of characters, I know a lot of people still use Warrior of Light, I know a lot of people still use Ishtola, for example, then this is going to be a nice way for you to strengthen those characters even further. Next up on the list is going to be this Thursday, so May 28th, and it's going to be a raid event. So it's going to be one of those events where the more that people kind of get involved with each of the characters associated with the event, the more rewards that everybody gets. But this event will actually come along with Lenna's rework and her EX plus realization. Cypher will get a rework and will also get an EX as well, which is quite interesting. And we'll also get a second banner that comes along with this that will also feature Ace and Faris's returning EX weapons. Now, while I will make Should You Pull videos for all of this, I'll go out on a limb and I actually think that these are the banners that you may want to hold off of, especially if you already have Lenna. Lenna is actually very strong with her realization and is a massive shoe-in for DE11, but because she's been so potent many times in the past, a lot of players already have her. So I would at least avoid the Ace and Faris banner because they are very old units now, and there's actually another unit coming up that dispels way better than Faris can, but she's still a nice unit to have. So if you were to be able to get these guys easily, then I'd still be pleased about it. Cypher and Lenna is a banner you may want to consider though, because Cypher's actually a very strong debuffer, and Lenna is a really strong buffer and has that amazing ribbon-esque effect where you just don't take debuffs anymore. So definitely keep an eye out on Lenna. Next on the list is going to start from June the 1st all the way till July 1st, and it's actually something very similar to something we already have going on right now, which is the Gigantoir raid. So while we've been able to farm this and get a single sort of amount of tokens each day in order to trade in for things like ingots, nuggets, tickets, Power tokens, all sorts of really nice stuff. It's nice to see that that's actually continuing into June through to July. And the primary reason for that is because the daily mission that we got for that was from the Gantuar actually gave us a lot of other resources as well. Whether this will come from just a singular mission, sort of like, or there'll be another mission to farm for this, like the Gigantuar, I'm not entirely sure. But if it's just a mission on its own, then honestly, as long as you're playing the game each day, you're going to get some extra free stuff, and hopefully there'll be ingots and stuff again in this, because we're going to need them this month. But honestly, free stuff is good stuff if you ask me. Also on June the 1st, so this next Monday, we're going to see the return of Prompto in his Lost chapter, and he'll actually be accompanied with a Freya rework as well as his own, and Freya and Prompto will both get EX realizations, Freya having a brand new weapon to begin with. This is probably the banner I would be most inclined to skip this month, and you'll see why as we progress through this month. There's a lot of very scary things going on. I think there's actually 6 characters I want to realise this month, and because my luck was so bad in May, I thankfully have ingots to be able to do most of that. But honestly, Freya is still a really strong character. She provides like a party-wide last stand, which is really cool. Prompto is still a little bit odd. Like his kit is very piecemeal. Like he has one of those kits I talk about a lot, like Keiss and Noel and things like that, where they just don't seem to do enough of any one thing, and they just kind of do a lot of little things. And I tend not to like those characters, but that's not to say that you shouldn't. Prompto isn't a bad character by any stretch of the word. There are just other banners that are coming up that are going to be much bigger than his. And one of those banners is going to be the one that's listed on this picture here, which is from June the 5th, and that's going to be Arciella. And Arciella is downright disgusting. She is an extraordinary character. There's so much to like with her. Prish comes along with her, and she's not so great. Prish's EX Plus is probably one of the weaker ones, but honestly, the gamble of getting Arciella, she's a buffer, she's a dispeller, she provides like a refund on any HP attacks your party does really quickly. She's just a fantastic character to pick up. And even if you're just starting, she works with on so many levels. She's somebody I've touted as a budget hero, but she's worth the 3 ingots as well. Honestly, this banner is definitely one you want to be looking at. On June 10th, we're going to be receiving another banner here, and this one actually has 3 EXs on it, and that's going to be Fujian, Cyan, and Vanille. Now, Fujian is actually one of the characters that I've been really looking forward to. She's a really nice Imperil Enchanter, kind of like Lulu, but she also provides like really nice support capabilities and launch with her EX. She's actually very powerful, and she's not a character that I imagine that everyone is going to go for, purely because, well, Cyan is her banner mate, and I know for a fact I'm going to get Cyan before I get Fujian. But also Vanille returns on this banner as well with her EX. So if you didn't manage to grab that the first time, as much as I've already said that Arciela is probably the strongest example of a Dispeller that we're going to have for a little while, Vanille at least has that amazing sphere. So if you happen to get her while pulling on the other 2, then that's something that you can take away from the banner. The event itself is very similar to your Abyss, to your Heretics, where it's just really challenging solo quests that you have where there are certain characters that you can't use, and it's obviously going to be geared towards the banner itself. So expect kind of wind weakness, things like that, or melee resistance down, things that the characters themselves will excel at. The other thing I'm quite noticing that's rather nice here is that Paladin Cecil's costume has been brought forward from JP, and you guys all know how much I love my Paladin Cecil, so might have to look at that one. Not sure if I can afford it, but hey, birthday's tomorrow, maybe I'll get some birthday money, so maybe we can look forward to Paladin Cecil's costume too. Now, many of you will have seen that we had the notification in-game for Dimensions End 11 coming up this week on Thursday alongside Lenna, Cypher, things like that. But we're actually going to be getting Dimensions End Entropy Tier 12 very soon as well, which is unusual because we normally only get 1 a month, so we're actually getting 2 this month, and this one's going to arrive on June the 15th, which is also alongside probably the banner I'm most excited about, but I'll get to that in a little while. But this event, it actually brings a new sort of plate, so a lot of people don't really like the Platinum plate because it looks like pee, but I've never really noticed it, but it gets upgraded to the Mithril version of the plate once you finish all 12 of the tiers. And this one, it's going to be using, you're going to want to use a sort of magic-based characters. So characters with debuffs are going to be really useful. Arciella is going to absolutely dominate this particular fight, or if you can't get Arciella, then Vanille is actually very good for this as well. Hope works very well as well. You're going to want healers. You're definitely going to want some healers for this because they do like to do HP damage quite a lot. But I will go over both Dimensions End 11 and 12 more closely when I release my Should You Pull videos for the banners that accompany them. And then the last slide that we've been given for this month is going to be, again on June the 15th, we're going to get the return of Alphinaud. Now, honestly, I cannot wait for this. I'm so excited for Alphinaud's EX and his realization. I cannot tell you, I love Alphinaud as a character, and it turns out he's actually pretty brutal as well, because he has this incredible amount of support he gains by using Obsidian Carbuncle, which just gives him ridiculous amounts of Brave Battery and really strong damage. So he's kind of like a level up, or he's similar to Hope in that he does a lot of defensive based support capabilities while hitting the enemy just repeatedly over and over again, really, really hard. This month is just fantastic for supports in general. You have Arciela, you have Lenna, you've now got Alphinaud, and then we're also going to get Keiss. We've got so much good stuff coming up. Fujian as well, so many good support characters coming up. And as I said, on June the 18th, we're going to see Keiss's event come out. Now, Keiss is a very odd character because he's very, very much built around the launch mechanic, but he does so in a way that makes Lael look terrible, because what he does is he gives, after using his EX, he gives an HP plus to himself during launches that batteries enemy, like your party, while he's doing it, and he makes it so that he's not the person doing the launch, but one of his party members is. So it just makes your damage multiplicative, and it's just so powerful. And as a friend unit, Keiss is absolutely incredible. He also comes along with Zidane, who is unfortunately just a worse version of Keiss, which is really kind of savage. And then Alphinaud will come with Ida, who's actually pretty strong as a damage dealer after she gets her realization. So they're all characters that you're going to want to look out for. Most of these banners, I will say, have a bit of an advantage and a disadvantage. Like there's a character that you want and a character that you don't. So with Fujian, it's you kind of want Fujian, you want Cyan a bit less. With Arciela, you want Arciela, you want Prish slightly less. With Alphinaud, I mean, Ida's good. Like, Ida is good, but I definitely want Alphinaud a lot more than I want Ida. And then with Keiss, Zidane is... and like we've had multiple opportunities to get some of these characters as well, so just be careful with your resources. These are all banners that you're probably going to want to pull on, but just be cautious before you go into them. But the one thing I will say as well is that normally we would have expected the next story chapter to have come around here, but the slide wasn't shown here because the next community stream is actually going to be on the 22nd of June, so the second Monday before the end of the month, and I imagine that we're going to get Cloud of Darkness, Kefka, and stuff like that. And I reckon I know why we're getting the community stream on that day, because with Kefka getting his realization, we may see the return of a certain cosplay on stream, so I might have to like up my ante and then, you know, carbon copy at the same time. But then we're going to see a lot of information about the upcoming content from that point onwards as well, so don't panic, this content is still coming. The community stream is just going to happen a little bit earlier than we used to. So that's going to be all that we know of when it comes to content coming out for Dissidia Opera Omnia in June. Thank you very much for watching. I will be streaming for every single one of these events that comes around, so definitely come and check me out on Twitch, particularly tomorrow if you happen to be watching this, or today if it's Tuesday the 26th, because I would love to celebrate my birthday with you guys. Obviously, I did want to quickly address before ending the video that yes, I have been in and out of hospital pretty much consistently for the last week or so, but I just want to kind of allay any worries or anything like that. I'm actually improving quite a lot at the moment, so I'm getting better, and thank God it's just before my birthday, because I really could do with my health not going down the pan before my birthday. So thank you ever so much for watching, everybody. Don't forget to click that bell for notifications, like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that stuff that YouTubers all say, and I trip over every time I try and say it. But thank you ever so much, and I will see you guys very soon, and see you guys either on my next stream or the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.